Great to see you, Joel. You know, we see all this activity around M&A in our space and how that has to do with tech. Does this? You have got some thoughts on how this really affects the need for software engineers. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, Michael, and it's been on your guys' program a lot. You know, we're seeing a lot of M&A activity in the freight industry right now. I think that that's really driven by two approaches to tech. You're seeing, some smaller companies come in that are more tech first. They're the ones that are really pushing the market, building new features, building new tech. And then you have more of your freight first companies that are more legacy tech. They're really focusing on taking their technology and modernizing it to really give them that flexibility to keep up with the market. So that's leading to a lot of this M&A activity. And because of that, because it's tech first, you're seeing a real need for engineers and really tech talent across the board.
So with that tech talent, do you think that there's been kind of this like overarching shift in the attractiveness of the industry throughout the last few years? I think that freight typically has been a space where, you don't necessarily have to have that high level technical education to break into the space. But now as you're talking about these tech companies leading the way forward with their own technology, now they're asking for that incredible education, whether that's a master's level degree or even above sometimes.
Yeah, it's a great point. I think Ryan Schreiber will love that I'm giving him a little bit of a shout out here. But Ryan wrote an article about this, I think roughly 4 years ago, around Uber coming in with Uber Freight and how it's just opening doors to a lot more tech talent. So we are seeing that big shift where a lot of engineers, a lot of people with a little bit higher degree are kind of coming into the market and seeing great success here. I mean, I've been in product for 7 years and almost all of it's been focused on logistics. And you can see that continued trend of more folks coming into the industry.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things is it was a number of years ago, but maybe 4 or 5 years ago when we first started out here at FreightWaves, that discussing this with some of the top universities like Georgia Tech in the logistics space, where they were really trying to marry their management schools with their computer science schools and kind of marry that ideation with those technical degrees there to bring the logistics across the entire campus. Is seeing this into the future is what's going on, and kind of really leading that pack and bringing that there. So there's more talent out there that is up and ready to fill some of those positions, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely that focus from universities. You're not only seeing it at great schools like Georgia Tech. I mean, Michigan also has a great engineering program all across the Big Ten. I mean, I'm from Chicago, so, maybe I'm representing that a little hard. But I would say that not only is it talent coming into the market, but it's also junior talent. So one of the things that we've seen and that we've noticed is a lot of companies try to target that senior engineer, that full stack engineer that's sometimes really difficult to find. But we've actually seen a lot of great success in hiring juniors and letting them develop with your company, maybe under the wing of one or two of those great senior talent. But there's been a lot of success there for us.
So speaking to that, I think the set of junior talent can really help assist in getting in some of those talent that might be competitive going to other really big companies, right? Or big tech jobs that exist out in the atmosphere. If you're a freight tech company, whether you're relying on, if you're a legacy company taking tech integrations, or if you're a tech forward company, how do you stay competitive with the likes of the Googles and the Apples that are really fighting tooth and nail, sometimes have the budget to go after these more lucrative talents? How do you stay competitive in that kind of space?
Another great question, Kaylee. I mean, I think every company that we're interacting with is dealing with that problem right now. I think the best thing, it starts with culture. I think that's at any company, regardless of whether it's a software engineer or a broker or whoever. Your culture speaks loudly in terms of being able to retain and attract talent. I think, again, going back to the junior market, if you can have, find a few strong leaders that fit your culture, but then really fill in the majority of your company with some junior to mid-level talent, we're seeing that that's been really successful. And especially in an industry like ours where there maybe isn't as much talent at the top right now. So that allows these younger individuals to grow. We recently had an engineer leave, but his story is of his career growth was fantastic. His name is Ben Strick. He started with me at Metaphor almost 4.5 years ago as a junior. And when he left, he's leaving as a senior engineer, extremely valuable to the industry. And that's one of the things that we've seen is we've been able to grow that talent. And if you can do that internally at your company, it really sets you up for success.
So, Joe, what about a crossover from the other side, so to speak? Those with the aptitude for the software and tech engineering that are already in the space and maybe didn't do that in college, that came straight in or what have you, going back and kind of getting those degrees and filling some of those voids. You seeing any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the things that we've seen a lot of is boot camps. So I think with those engineering degrees, while there's definitely that talent that has, gone and gotten their computer science degree, they've gone that kind of more traditional route, which you've seen historically for software engineers. We've seen, again, a lot of success with boot camps. So if you're looking to make that shift, if you've been in logistics for a long time and the engineering or software space really speaks to you, you should look into those programs. There's a bunch of them out there. I wouldn't speak to anyone specifically, but we have seen that and seen people with great success.
I love that continuing education support that comes internally, absolutely part of the culture as well. And last but not least, can you talk a little bit about how that culture aspect, the company's willing to support those types of employees through their continuing education, how that's one of the main attractors sometimes for folks entering the industry. If you're an engineer who comes in and says, you know what, we know that you're a junior level, but we're going to support you through your continuing education to become the senior, that looks really great if you're looking for a job.
Yeah, it does. It's huge, and I think especially in tech in general, because tech is changing and ebbing and flowing every few years. We're seeing new trends. There's new languages that come out. There's just different ways to approach problems that we haven't seen in the past, and so you actually see quite a bit of burnout and also quite a bit of engineers that leave just because they're looking for new challenges or new ways to learn. So the more that you can double down on giving them that opportunity internally, I think the better it sets you up to help your engineers grow, to help kind of all of your employees grow. It's recently something that we've done at Metaphora. We've seen that there's just been a continued need for that kind of education. And it's been, we've had a lot of our engineers, a lot of our staff really respond well to that.
Yeah, excellent stuff. It definitely opens up a lot of more opportunity and broadens just the spectrum of interest in people and diversification within our industry, and I love it. I really don't see it slowing down anytime soon. I would suspect that you're seeing it kind of heat up as well, right?
Yeah, you're spot on, Michael. It's not going anywhere. I mean, tech is really fueling right now a lot of the activity in the markets, and I think that it's only going to continue to blow up as we move forward. So if you don't have that strategy right now, focusing on finding your engineers and finding that tech talent, it's something that you definitely want to be thinking about as an org moving forward.
All right, Joel, thank you for being with us today. We appreciate you guys at Metaphora as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And I'd be remiss by Teresa if I didn't shout out. If you want to learn a little bit more, just go onto our blog.metaphora.net. Find us on metaphora.net or LinkedIn. We're always here to kind of answer questions and help. Thanks so much for having me on, guys.
Right on. Thanks, Joel.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back with our next check of the weather coming up in just a few minutes.